Alright, I've got just about everything ready to prime here. Gone through and hand sanded all these areas. And what I'm going to do is, this piece here, this plug, is ready to go, but I'm going to actually prime it with it in here because I don't want to get primer over all this. There's no real need to sand it, and I don't want to put primer on it anyway. So I'm going to prime this with it in here. That way I can keep that area covered that I don't want primer on, and I can also prime that at the same time. Same thing over here, but this has got some damage on this corner and this corner. It's supposed to be nice and sharp like this, or it'll come up and fit against the bumper. So I'm going to sand all this back once I get this ready to prime. Well, before that, I'm going to get this basically ready to prime, but I'm going to add some material to the corners before I prime it. So I'll get this all sanded back, put a little bit of material here. I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet, probably the 5887. Just build that up and come back and block it flat, and then block it in all three directions. This surface, this one, and this one, until you get a point there, and then I'll just round it off just a little bit. And then this will all be ready to go. Got the spoiler sanded. I'm not going to prime the underside. I'm going to go all the way around to here, but I'm not going to go underneath. There's no reason to do that. I'm going to seal it whenever I get ready to paint it. And there's really no damage under there anyway. I just scuffed it. So I'm going to hang it from somewhere in here. Prime just the top and both the front and the rear edges. Got the mirrors ready to go. This one had several chips in it. I had to sand through all that. That's where I did a little bit of a repair there from some corrosion at the seam. You can't get these back apart. Once they've been put together, you can't get these two halves apart. So what I'm gonna have to do is spray narrow the fan down on the gun and spray in here, get all this wet with primer, and then come back, open the fan up and wet the outside. Same thing with the paint when I get ready to do that. Mix up some of the 5887 just on my mixing board here. I'm going to add some material to these corners. Spray some adhesion promoter on the plastic before I went to mix this up. Let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. This will sand off pretty easily, so I'm not really worried about getting it too thick. I can always sand it off. I just don't want to have to apply any more after this. When I get done, I'm going to pull this tape off the back. I've got it back here just to keep it off the back of it. While it's still wet, I'll pull it when I get done. That should be enough to give me a corner there that I was missing. Same thing over here. I'll press it in tight on the first pass just so it'll stick. I might add a little bit more maybe, but that's the gist of it. Got everything ready to go. I've put one coat of this on all the bare plastic. Let it flash for about almost 30 minutes now. It's max 30 minutes flash, so I'm right on the money there. Had to mix up a new gallon of primer that's been sitting a while. The solids roll in the bottom. It took me about that whole time to do it. Gonna narrow the fan on the gun to get in all the little pockets on the bumper over there. And also inside of the mirrors where there's a hole through the two parts of the mirror there. And then I'll open the fan back up, finish off the large areas, and I'll come back and hit the spoiler with the fan open. We'll stop for just a second. I don't think my air cap's tight. I get a little sputtering. Not a big deal, but I'm just going to stop and tighten it up. I meant to say fluid tip a second ago. I checked it, it was tight, so I tightened the air cap down too. I'll put it back on. I'm going to let this sit for probably about 15 minutes. I use a little bit slower hardener just so it would give me time to get in those pockets and then come back over it on the outside without it curing on me. I'll hit those mirrors real quick, and then that'll be it for this. The other 2 or 3 coats will just look the exact same. Alright, I'll be back when it's all dry. Alright, the customer just dropped off the M5. In really good shape except for the paint. I've already got the mirrors off. Before I went any further, I want to go ahead and give you an overview before I get too far with it. It's in pretty decent shape as far as the body. We're going to be replacing this door. This is the one that I did some work on a few videos back. And painted the jamb red. There's a little damage right in here on this door where it started. It went into that one, but this is torn under here. Got a hole in it, so we just got another door. This will get repaired. This whole side's been repainted at one time and it's starting to fail. Right in here where they did a little spot repair blend. And it's peeling here. Clear's coming off. Actually, could have been single stage. It's possible because I don't really see original paint, then I see this paint. So there may not have been any base clear put on it. It may just be single stage, just peeling back. But we'll see when I start sanding it. If it comes off red, then that's what it is. Got to go ahead and get all the trim off. I washed it really well before I started any of this so I can get it clean. Front bumper is going to be replaced. That's the stuff I just primed earlier, sitting right over there. That one right there, that's for another car. Roof's in pretty good shape. Got a sunroof, so I'll have to probably pull this. If it drops in, I'll drop it in, pull it back, and work on the roof, and come back and I'll have to mask this edge off on this gasket here, and clean all this wax and stuff off, and then paint that also. But I'll just mask this and paint it all at one time. Got to get the chrome off around here. That's part of the quarter panel, not the door. The chrome off, the handles out. Door moldings, we're going to save the moldings that we can. Like these back here, these are damaged, and this one's got a big chip missing out of it, so probably just knock that stuff off and not worry too much about it. But going to pull the bumpers and go ahead and get this one off first. After we get the rest of the trim off, he's going to come help me do a little bit. This he's going to save it, but we're going to go ahead and just get it out of the way. And I'll get the grill out, be able to paint that. Not a whole lot to take off, really. Get the rocker panels off down here, rocker trim. And got a dent here. A few minor door dings down the side. Nothing major. I don't know of any rust in it. We'll see what happens when we get the rockers and bumpers off, but looks to be pretty clean. Gonna go ahead and start getting things like the emblems off, hood washers, door handles, tail lights, all that good stuff. Or I can start doing body work on it.